we're going to do a draft. We're going to talk about the most important Browns players in the second half of the season. And we're going to do it fantasy draft style. Let's get it started. Let's get right to it. Mary Kay, you are on the clock, the number one pick in the most important Browns in the second half.
Well, I will choose the one, the only Myles Garrett for the most important player of the second half of the season. He is on pace. He's a leading candidate for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's tied right now still with Aaron Donald with 9 sacks. He's playing a bunch of teams coming up where he should be able to get a lot more sacks, a lot more strips. I think he's going to have a heck of a second half. He looks good. I've been watching him in practice the last couple of days. He doesn't look any worse for the wear with his knee injury or his ankle or his wrist or anything like that. I think he's going to play with his hair on fire in the second half and try to get this team to the playoffs.
My pick, number 2 overall, and I thought Mary Kay may go there, but she did make the right pick. But for me, it's running back Nick Chubb. He's coming back, and Mary Kay, it's been wonderful reading your updates about the brace and how he still looks good. I think there are natural wonders about if he will play with it, if he won't, if he can perform in it, if he can't. Brace or not, I think Nick Chubb is poised for an incredible second half of the season, just picking up where he left off before his injury. He's still second in expected rush yards, which I just found fascinating. Dalvin Cook leads the league, and anyone who's playing fantasy football knows what kind of streak Dalvin Cook's on right now. And Chubb, even though he's missed these games, is still second. And what that tells me, it tells me 2 things. It tells me Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley have also been hurt, but it also just says that Nick Chubb is in elite company. And I know Browns fans have been pounding that drum for a while, but his absence here has just solidified that he is really the focal point of this offense, that he's not Kareem Hunt can get the job done, but Kareem Hunt just benefits from Chubb being there, and he's the home run hitter that this offense has desperately needed when he reaches the second level. DBs and even some linebackers just bounce off him or drip off him like melted butter. It's remarkable to see him when he hits that second level. So I expect Nick Chubb to have a great second half of the season, picking up where he left off with rush defenses like the Texans and the 2 New York teams and the Jags. He's going to run all over these guys. So Nick Chubb, second overall, I feel pretty safe with that one.
This draft fell perfectly for me because now I get to take at number 3 the other pretty obvious choice, and that's the quarterback, Baker Mayfield. We did a whole podcast, the 3 of us, about Baker Mayfield and what he has to play for in the second half, the decisions that the Browns have to make in the second half or in the offseason about Baker Mayfield as the quarterback. And the reality is that, yes, this team is very run heavy. Yes, they're built around play action and all of that. But at some point, your quarterback's going to have to win you a game like Baker did against Cincinnati. At some point, your quarterback's going to have to win you a game. And I don't think we can get through the first round of this draft without putting Baker Mayfield out there as one of the most important players of the second half of the season. Okay, well, I get to benefit here from the snake now. So we'll start the second round off. Part of me wants to get cute here. There's a name I'm thinking, and I want to get cute, but you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take somebody that you could consider the best player available here to kick off the second round. I'm going to stay on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm going to go with Baker's number 1 target here in the second half of the season, and that's going to be Jarvis Landry. Mary Kay, you, Scott, and I talked yesterday about Jarvis's season, and his numbers right now are on pace to being some of his lowest numbers of the year. But at the same time, when you just watch and you're seeing how this offense moves, it doesn't feel like that. You still feel that impact that Jarvis is having. He's got to put the drops behind him. He can't put the easy ones on the ground. Hopefully his ribs are feeling a little bit better after the bye week. Hopefully he's kind of moved past the Odell Beckham Jr. injury, which I think probably impacted him a lot to see his best friend lose his season to an ACL tear. But I think Jarvis Landry is the guy that they don't have a lot else at receiver, and they need Jarvis Landry to be Mr. Reliable for this football team.
So as surprised as you 2 were that I was going to take Jarvis, I actually would have taken Kareem Hunt here. And I'm equally surprised that Dan didn't take his Kareem Hunt here, pulling that summer narrative back to the forefront. For me, I am totally content with having a pairing of the Browns backfield and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as my first 2 picks, because I think that's exactly what this team is going to be in these final 8 games. You know, we talk about how important this is for Baker, and part of the reason I key those 3 games, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and the potential playoff game, is because everything else is going to run through Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt before that. You know, Baker's not going to be asked to do a whole lot if Kevin Stefanski has his way about it versus these lesser defenses. Mary Kay said it, starting with the Texans, the worst run defense in the league. I've been watching some Nick Chubb tape, which means I was watching the Bengals game, and just the way the Bengals were unable to first stop Nick Chubb and then a fresh Kareem Hunt. That's going to be something we haven't seen in a long time.
I'm going to go with Ronnie Harrison here. The Browns really need good, improved safety play. We know what Denzel Ward brings to the table. We know he's going to be that lockdown corner. I think he's going to have a Pro Bowl second half of the season and put together a Pro Bowl campaign. But they need Ronnie Harrison to be really, really good. They've gotten poor safety play, except for the few games that Ronnie Harrison has come in and started to sort of solidify the position, making a few starts. Okay. If they don't get good safety play, they're just going to be in trouble. They're not going to be able to get off the field, and it's just going to be a mess.